for Indian gamers where they have played nationally and internationally, got so many recognition. And then we have Anurag sir, founder and CEO of NewGen, a well-renowned gaming organization in the gaming scene from the inception, I think so. And then we have VJS. He is legal, and he do all the legal stuff for gaming in India. And then we have Vishwalok Nath. Vishwalok sir was the one who founded India Today Gaming. He was a part of India Today, and now he has started his own venture that is Hey Pal. It's a social audio networking platform. So yeah, Vamsi, how are you feeling, and what are we exactly going to talk about today?
Can you guys hear me?
No, I don't think so. Yeah, no, it's
So how am I feeling is a very generic question. I'll start with audience question. How many of you are gamers here? Oh, yeah, all youngsters. No one else? How many of you are aware that this is one of the fastest growing segment?
everyone.
Okay, that is exactly what I wanted to hear from you guys. Uh, I've been doing this business on my own, invested, raised capital for last 6 years. And the type of change that we have seen, both in terms of parental perception to parental acceptance, that's a world of change in last 5 years. So I'm here with my fellow panels. All of them are my old friends, and I'm here to discuss. And if you guys have any questions, we'll be very happy to address those questions.
Even I'm going to ask a few questions later on. Mr. Anurag Khurana, founder and CEO of NewGen Gaming Private Limited.
Hello everyone, my name is Anurag, as Masab said. I've been in gaming for last 2.5 decades now. Started my career back in '99. I think that was the time Masab was born.
No, I was born in 1996.
Yeah, so he was 3 years old when I started my career, but going ahead. So I started this company 4 years back with the same single objective of taking esports at amateur level, which means semi-professional and collegiate level. So that's our goal, and to basically cover the whole journey of athletes, we want to do the professional league also. Apart from that, last year we started the content division also, where the focus is on creating content stories around gaming, not gaming stories per se. So that's what we are.
And then we have VJS, yes. You have to tell lots of things because he's coming from the legal background. He knows ins and outs of gaming.
Thank you. In many ways, I think my motivation to be in this sector is similar to Musab's as well. Of course, Vamsi sir and Anurag sir and Vishwalok Nath sir are legendary in this particular field. From my perspective, I used to be someone who used to game, and eventually I figured out this is where I want to make my career. I was not good enough to be, so think of me as the Harsha Bogle of this particular industry, right? I was not good enough to be the person who's actually playing the game very well. So I wanted to figure out everything around it, which includes the policy, the sociology, why do people game, the benefits of gaming, right? So I look forward to talking about all of that today. Yeah.
And we have a last guest, Vishwalok Nath. Yes, sir.
Yeah, hi. Hello, everyone. I would like to ask how many of you are parents to kids who are gaming here in the audience, who play games, whatever kind of games, whether it's Candy Crush or PUBG or BGMI or Free Fire. कितने parents हैं यहाँ पे? Okay. And you like them playing games? You encourage them playing games? I don't think so. Yeah. Okay. So that was the kind of a issue that I faced when I started India Today Gaming way back in 2019. I brought Free Fire to the country. I think you guys would be blaming me because a lot of kids are playing Free Fire, right? So I'm the person behind it who brought Free Fire to the country. So what happens, like, I was just, we were having a round table and we were just talking about it. Earlier, there was a saying, ki, पढ़ोगे लिखोगे बनोगे नवाब खेलोगे कूदोगे होगे खराब. And this was changed by people like Sachin Tendulkar, Virat Kohli and Neeraj Chopra's of the world, because they really showed us कि खेलना कितना ज़रूरी है और उससे करियर बन सकता है। उसी तरीके से now is the time when we are actually against gaming. Most of the parents, they think that kids are playing games on their mobile phones, they would spoil their eyes, बाहर जाके कम से कम क्रिकेट ही खेल ले, सेहत ही बना ले, कुछ करेगा नहीं तो, right? These are the kind of things that we do. But, I don't know how many of you know, people who are coming here to listen to this, I believe that a lot of us would be knowing this, कि gaming is now a part of Commonwealth Games, it's a part of Asian Games, and it is also going to be a part of Olympics. So it is going to be a recognized sport. So the kids who are playing are going to be called athletes, and they can actually bring, gold, silver, and bronze medals, and will be recognized in the country, right? So that is where gaming has reached to. So, I think it is the time for us to start encouraging kids, right? Obviously, we need to control them, that they should not be doing a lot of it, because अगर आप 12-14 घंटे क्रिकेट भी खेलोगे तो भी खराब है, right? In the same manner, if you play a lot of games, that is also bad, but you need to start encouraging them and, making them play games, because this is the next big thing. Gaming is going to be the next cricket. Mark my words, that is how it is going to be. Because we like cricket so much because we have played cricket in our childhood. And that is the same reason kids today are playing these games. And once they grow, they have money in their pocket. All the sponsors, all the broadcasters, everybody would be behind them. Everybody would be behind these people who would be, not only playing, but also watching these games. So it is going to be a very, very big industry. And we should be aware of that. And we should be actually encouraging kids to, play right kind of games and make a career out of it.
Yeah, like when we say gaming and esports, so people still they don't have the clarity over it. It's like they don't know how they can turn it into a profession. For example, I will tell you about myself. They are my seniors only. They know about me and what I have done. So I'm I'm MBA guy. I've completed my MBA in 2020. I've turned myself into a commentator of all these games because I again realized, just like my friend realized, that I cannot compete on the same level because see, as an athlete, the best time you can play and all your sensory and nerves are working when you're at your peak. That is 16, 17, 18. And then I was doing all these commentary things, and then okay, I got the audience, and then I joined India Today. Gaming and esports got lots of profession. Trust me, when it comes to graphics. यहाँ पे कितने लोग हैं जिनको graphics की knowledge है, content की knowledge है, और video की knowledge है. You know that it's the big business, right? Carey Minati, for example, you guys know about him, right? He's a gamer only. Now he turned out to be someone who's representing India on an international level. He's working with Mr. Beast, the biggest content creator in the whole world. So yeah. Gaming and especially esports, and when we say esports, it's like e-sports, electronic sports. Whatever you're playing right now on the field, the same game is being played on the digital field. That is esports. Okay, it's not a challenger to any sports games. For example, even if I say that, आप लोग देख रहे होगे IPL में इस टाइम पे एवरेज कितनी वॉचिंग रहती है? 2 करोड़, 5 करोड़, right? The highest watching esports game get almost 2-3 millions. Like Free Fire, we got that. 20 lakh ki watching yaar wahan bhi aa rahi hai. Everything is digital, digital now. So coming back to the main agenda and topic, AI and gaming. Gaming is already very big all over the world. There are lots of games. There are lots of genres in the games. And what do you think, Vamsi, with the AI coming into the play, what kind of changes? Especially when I say India is we are 10-20 years already behind from the rest of the world. What do you think about this AI and the gaming and how it's going to help the athletes, the tournament organizers, all the stakeholders in the country?
Right, there are so many aspects where AI is actually transforming esports. In next couple of years, you will see how AI will dictate the whole business of esports. Some of the products like Riot has this agent that is installed on your PC to detect abnormalities of mouse flicks and reaction time and red flags. And it detects the cheaters there. Okay. And in the traditional methods, it's very difficult to detect cheaters. Right. Now, with AI coming into picture, it becomes a lot more intelligent enough to study the large models and identify that, hey, this is a genuine player, this is a cheater. And AI brings a lot of value into the competitiveness of the gaming. Yeah, that's one example.
Mostly like I wanna ask everyone, आप लोग AI किस source में use करते हैं mostly like to type your mail, to get content structured? Like, do you guys use AI on a daily basis? The audience, especially right now. So I think personally, with this cheat, what Vamsi was talking about, for many of you, maybe you don't know about the cheat.
Vanguard.
Vanguard. So every game got its anti-cheat because it's all digital, right? It's based on the mechanism. एक गेम बनेगा उसका एक हैक निकल आता है, एक चीट निकल के आता है, and there is a cheat system for every game. So obviously with the AI.
And then most importantly, AI coaches are also happening. There's a lot of platforms where when as semi-pros want to scale up to pros, hiring a coach or paying for a coach is a lot expensive. So with AI coaches that are becoming popular right now, semi-pros can quickly scale to pros, and then they can get into professional coaching when they see a little bit of success. So AI is playing a lot of responsibilities in terms of enhancing the whole esports.
The whole scene. Anurag sir, because you have been a part of this. Anurag sir, especially being our senior, he is like the first gen of gamers. As he mentioned, in 1999, he was doing some things where we were just in our pants. So sir, with this AI and new tech, how do you see the coming scenario of esports?
If you ask me, I don't see implementation of AI in gaming sometime soon. Future, trust me, I can't predict
right now.
I agree with him. The way it's looking, it might turn to be good, but then AI is a software code only. Anybody can corrupt it. But at the present or in next 2 to 3 years, I don't see any implementation of AI in esports at least. Yes, because
So he says he doesn't see the impact of AI in next 2 years because you can't see it. It's actually happening behind the curtains. Like the Vanguard, for example, of Riot. There are equivalent tools for Valve for CS.
Right.
All because you don't see it doesn't mean that AI is not
It's
happening.
not happening.
AI is happening.
both the tools don't use AI. Okay, because I've been part of one company. They basically detect the softwares on your system. That's what.
But I think we
But
are
let's not get into that.
getting away
So, yeah.
from the main topic.
So
These two are hardcore gamers.
real implementation for AI, I don't see at present. Future, I really can't predict.
And what about AI and new gen? Can we see some new content developed with
So
AI?
only place where we use AI is for our content only.
Okay.
Where we use morphing and all that stuff using AI. But
Okay.
that's the end of it.
That's the
No scripting, nothing. Everything is done by hand.
But I think sometimes like AI can help you in
Of
structure.
course, but generally the creativity part, I feel more convinced of the people like you than depending on AI.
Okay. And Vijay, what do you think? Like, because you are into legal and everything, and how do you see this AI and gaming? Like, is it making your work, day-to-day work easy? Or like, do tell us about your work as well, because many of them, they don't know exactly what you do.
So Musab, you're right. From the impact of AI in work in general perspective, it does help with the standard use cases that everyone's familiar with, right? Writing emails that they don't want to write, responding
Right.
to automatic requests, so on and so forth, right? Or analyzing long sort of documents. It helps in there, right? But where I sort of agree with both Vamsi and Anurag sir is that humans, before we get into the legal side of things, right? Humans engage in entertainment for a particular reason, right? So I think it was in the early 90s, if I might get my dates wrong, early 90s or early 2000s, when DeepMind defeated Gary Kasparov, right? So technically, computers have been better at playing chess than humans
Right.
for a very long time. But nobody wants to watch two AI playing chess. you still want to watch the human do it, right? That's similar with so many other games as well. Ultimately, like all of your games are essentially lines of code, right? And it's very, very much feasible, unless and until you don't have fraud detection platforms, to write computer programs that have, like, you know, two people, team A, team B, and they can, the two computer programs can shoot till, like, you know, cows come home, right? But would you want to watch that? Right? The real fun of esports and of gaming is that it is another, like how you and I had that realization that we are not particularly good at this, right? It's a very human realization, right? So that's the impact of AI that I were to see, which is that in general, there is going to be a secular improvement in productivity, human productivity, especially in unproductive tasks such as writing lengthy emails, or responding to common emails. The specific thing about games itself and the playing of games, right? These continue to be highly creative fields, right? Now, take the trend, right? Where you see like people are uploading pictures and getting it in a particular filter, right? I don't want to name the gaming studio, but they're taking a respected, legendary animation studio, right? And they're creating images in that particular style, right? The problem here is that you are not that studio. That studio developed that language over generations of people, like, you know...
just like the Ghibli effect happening.
Exactly,
around,
right? So the point I'm trying to say is that you can develop an AI, but you are never going to have another... I didn't want to name the name, but you've named it Ghibli. That is on its own, right? So creativity is still a huge moat. The moment human beings know that something has been generated by AI, I don't think they're likely to engage with it as seriously as something that is human generated, right? You would have seen that even
values decline somehow.
Exactly. Even on YouTube videos, the moment you see that someone's using a AI generated image feed, I don't think you're more likely to watch that video.
Right.
So creativity is still a huge moat, and I don't think the impact is going to be that great.
Okay.
Now, coming to the legal side of things, to quickly answer your question, from a law perspective, this is still an evolving field. We do not as yet understand, you know, we do not understand the technology well enough, and we understand the impacts of it even less, right? Only law typically always takes some time to play catch up. Luckily for us, under the present government, they have like a clear plan of action. In fact, as we speak, we are also starting to engage with international governments. There's the Global Tech Summit that's happening not very far from here at the Oberoi. So the law will catch up. We are right now definitely not there. Like example, in the Ghibli example, was it right what people were doing? We don't know the answer, right? So it will take some time, but I'm sure the law and the society will get there soon enough.
Adding to what he said, basically AI helps you reduce the time. That's the only thing. But final output, still, I as an individual, I prefer human. Right.
I'll bring it back to esports, right? We were talking very generic of AI, but the topic of the day is how is AI impacting esports? And Anurag and me have difference of opinion. It's fine.
You're having a one.
That's how we are allowed to have difference of opinion. There are a lot of tools that are in development. Okay, like for example, Krafton has developed PUBG Alley, which is an AI tool, AI companion. We all play these multiplayer games, right? When we join those multiplayer lobbies, historically we used to get a lot of bots, and we all used to hate those bots because they perform tasks without any intelligence. Now, what PUBG Alley does is it studied human type of behavior, and it taught bots how to behave like a typical player. And that technology has evolved already, okay? Well, the best part of AI is it gets better and better as in when you feed it a lot more data. And that's one example that when you start playing with human, like not everyone are fortunate enough to have teammates.
Right.
Right? We all don't have those 4v4 stacks or 5v5 stacks. So you have an AI companion bot, which exactly mimics your playing style. And the bot also can communicate back to you, okay? Both on voice channel, and it can also bring humor to it and strategy to it. That is what the AI impact on esports is happening at the moment. It is not 2-3 years away, according to me. It is happening as we speak.
In the background. Okay,
Yeah, in the
so
background.
and we have Vishwalok sir. So Vishwalok sir has just started a new social audio platform. Hey Paul, we would love to know about it because somehow it's connected with gaming. I think you have also there are few things like your virtual reality and many other things. So we would love to know about the whole how it's gonna work, the HeyPal, and
Yeah.
is it like somewhere connected with AI as well?
Yeah, yeah, definitely it is. So, nowadays, I mean, we are connected with so many people on Facebook. So, on Facebook, generally, we connect with people we already know, friends, family, extended families. But Gen Z is connecting with new people on platforms like Discord or while playing games like PUBG, Free Fire, COD, and all of that. Why they connect with these new people is because they share the same passion of gaming. So that is where we brought this concept. HeyPal is a new social app. It's an audio social network whereby you join the app with a pal name, with an audio introduction, and with an avatar, and then you get matched with people sharing the same interest, and then you can talk to them on app to app calling. You join the audio rooms where you find people sharing the same interest, very many people sharing the same interest. You can play casual games. While playing the casual games, you can talk to people on a voice chat. You can consume audio content like podcast and ebooks and news and comedy shows and all of that. Then there is an expert zone whereby you can actually talk to career counselors, clinical psychologists, mentors, and all, and eventually you can meet people in the metaverse. So there is a lot of AI goes behind it because once you get into the app, when you record your audio as an audio introduction, it automatically detects your gender. It detects that whatever is being written, you are saying the same thing or not, right? Then when you upload your avatar, when you create an avatar, you click your photograph, it converts that into an avatar, right? And so all of that is there. So that is the new thing we are going to be launching in a month's time. So currently the site is live at heypal.com, and you can join the waitlist. And once the app goes live, you get an opportunity to download it.
Like we wish you all the luck for that app. By the way, because we all are talking about this, whatever we are talking about, it's all happening in the digital world, right? There's one thing I think which you guys must have like faced or seen. It's the toxicity. आपको digitally कभी किसी ने परेशान तो किया ही होगा. Some random spams, messages, all the abuses. We get that a lot because we are streamers, we are gamers, and हमें ना कोई भी आके कुछ भी कह देता है, and we call them keyboard warriors, by the way. So with this toxicity, I want to ask every one of you, because you are in the community, especially in gaming, we see lots of toxicity, and irrespective of the gender, by the way. It's based on anything. It can be agent, it's insta-lock and whatever. So what do you think, Vamsi, the toxicity, and how should the government, like, there should be some rules and regulation, and this, how do you see this whole toxicity in the gaming community especially?
See, toxicity is real.
You know, it's depressing.
The study says that at least 80% of those online multiplayer gamers would have faced toxicity at least once. Gamers who are there who can confirm, right? I face toxicity when I play
Every day.
Valorant.
I am the most toxic guy in my
And I hope he doesn't come in my lobby so that there's no toxicity.
So, Baki, whenever I play, I keep my mic and speakers off.
Yeah.
For that reason only, because I know what I'll be doing.
Yeah, so I'll bring the AI element to toxicity. AI is actually solving the toxicity in the level that so currently, if you're playing Valorant, you can report a fellow player for different reason, right? He's abusive, he's throwing the game, etc., etc. But the riot takes its own sweet time to check the logs, and it's a manual intervention. So Faceit, all of you are aware of Faceit. They've been working on this AI tool, which has been fed with millions and millions of chat lines, hundreds of thousands of voice chats, and millions of hours of game time. And it is able to detect the toxicity in real time, and it is able to avoid the toxicity during the match itself. And it also has a profile rating system, like how we have credit score, right? The tool is also built such a way that the profiles of the person who is toxic can be flagged accordingly. Now, I know for a fact that Faceit has implemented it, and Riot or Activision or quite a few people have taken inspiration from that particular AI tool, and they started implementing. It's not in their games yet, but in next, not 2-3 years, but at least in next 1 year, you'll get to see the AI tools avoiding toxicity in real time.
And what about the YouTube and streaming thing?
God help.
No, but I have seen so much of toxicity. I've dealt like personal level on stream and everything. But I think Vishlok sir, do you want to say something on it, because I think you might have a good...
that is, definitely true that there is a lot of toxicity. And, you remember, Masab, when we started a tournament called World Esports Cup, there was this tournament between India, Pakistan, and Nepal.
Yep.
So the kind of action which was happening at the, in the chat box, it was crazy, because, it was not about the game. It was like between India and Pakistan, people were just abusing each other. So, obviously that is there. And with our platform, what we are trying to do, because we have already developed that AI whereby we are, detecting the gender and the kind of words that they are saying. So we are actually, feeding in, certain cuss words in that while those kinds of words are being used during the, audio that they are doing. So those would all will be recorded. And then those profiles would be flagged. They would be sent messages that you are going beyond the community guidelines and all those things. And and if there are reporting as well as the AI which is detecting such profiles, those would be banned from the platform.
That's a good initiative, sir. So you must have heard that esports is now a part of Olympics, by the way. It's happening in 2027. So soon, very soon, the gamers will be called Olympians. And right now, it's already happening. What are your views on the esports Olympic? I want to ask this question to everyone because we are going to get involved. So starting with Vishlok, sir, yeah.
This is actually such a great thing, and that is what when we started, like in 2019, it was when I was convincing the management to actually get into it. So obviously now it is kind of a reality that gaming is a part of Olympics. It has already been considered a legit sport in Commonwealth Games and Asian Games, and India has also won a medal in like Asian Games and all of that. So it's a big thing, right? Now the parents also would realize that's a very good thing for all of us and for especially the gamers. And another thing is Esports World Cup, which recently got announced, and it got like $70 million prize pool, which is like 580 crores, which is much, much bigger than an IPL or a World Cup of cricket or whatever you may say. So this is the next big thing which is happening. There is money in it, there is career in it, and now there is legitimacy with Olympics. It is coming into Olympics.
Vamsi.
He covered everything.
Everything. He made a detailed report.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I have a mixed feeling. Esports in Olympics, nah. Olympic esports, yes.
Yes.
Because esports in Olympic is, it's not esports, man. Sorry.
Right. They have changed the rules and everything.
Yeah, but it's not esports. But esports Olympic, that I'm excited. But second problem which I also foresee is that a lot of those games are not played in India.
Yeah.
That's my bigger concern. How will India represent there? So, but it's still we got 2 years. But yeah, those were my two small feedback.
So recently, we have heard the collaboration, Reliance and Blast. India lacks PC game, by the way, because we are a mobile-oriented market only. We play mobile games, and those games are banned multiple times. But with this recent collab between Blast and, no, you don't think so, but Blast can easily get 2-3 regional qualifiers of CS or Apex Legend. They can directly send them.
My problem is, where is the player base? See,
you have to put the money in the community first to build that.
The way CS community was built, there was no money put.
Yeah.
But That was one game which was available. Then there was so many tournaments happening. It was not the prize pool. It was so many tournaments happening. When Valo came, that whole ecosystem was taken away by Valorant.
Right.
Okay, understandable. Same was the case with Dota. I see a lot of people still play casual Dota,
Right.
but competitive scene of Dota is completely gone.
Indeed.
But we have to get the players excited enough to actually compete to get the best in, because it's Olympics. It's only one team which is gonna represent India. How do you get that team? I think those are the challenges which I see right now. I agree, but I don't think Blast GOD will make any difference, because that JV will take time to get
Indeed.
started.
So just like Olympics, let's imagine in Olympics there are going to be 50 games or 30 games. Same is going to happen with esports Olympics. Different games will be played, different teams, and obviously we need we will be there for sure. Not playing all the games, maybe 2, 3, 4, 5. But what do you think about the government involvement? Because the main thing which esports is lacking right now is that authoritative body, that single body who will decide everything. There are multiple non-profit organizations, but
not decide, but at least set the rules.
set the rules. Yeah, that's
That's
yeah.
what I want to, because those sitting on this platform, I know should be saying it, but the reason IT grew in India was because government was not directly involved. Okay, so but that government guideline is always helpful. That one government guideline body which sets a guideline, I think that's what is missing.
We need right now. What do you think, Vamsi, about this? You've been elected as a 2 months acting chairman for a new group for esports.
So it's a challenge, actually. For once, I'll agree with Anurag.
on stage.
So the challenge is, rightly you said, right? The titles that Olympic esports are going to take place, probably 2 titles that we probably have a decent professional community in, that CS and Valorant. Right. PUBG Mobile is not in India, so BGMI players can't go and
Play the game.
play the game there. Dota, we don't have professional players. League of Legends, we don't have professional players. FIFA is not to the
Not
global
even sure
scale.
that we can win the medal in it.
So the way I see it is, it's a great opportunity for entrepreneurs like us, right? When you see a problem and you bring a solution, that's a business opportunity. That's
Right.
how I see it. So we have 2 years, and that's what we are working towards. And whether it's me as my company or Anurag and his company, and there are quite a few people who have vested interest to grow esports in India. If we can see this opportunity and capitalize and monetize it, I think in 2 years we can have a decent professionals representing titles that are not strong today.
Right.
Yeah.
And Vijay, because we are talking about government involvement, so do you think that we can have this body, because now we are working on something. How do you see that the rules and regulation? Because see, one thing I will tell you, my personal experience. So let's say I won a tournament. For example, TEC is organizing or Newgen is organizing, and I won 10 lakh rupees. Nobody helped me to win that event because it was me and my boys. I got the 10 lakh, but in reality, I'm just getting the 7 lakh rupees straight on 30% taxes deducted by the government, where nobody's paying the Wi-Fi bill, nobody's paying for my device bill. I'm getting none subsidy. So how do you see this?
Sure. So I'm going to take this and the toxicity question together,
Yeah.
right? Now, I saw many people nodding their head when you asked the question, how many of you had toxic online experiences? Specific in esports and related to gaming as well, I've always found it difficult to differentiate between regular sledging and the really toxic one, right? Because sledging, I'm sure all of you also, it adds to the drama of the sport. It's fun to some extent, right? But not when it starts affecting the other person, right? So it's very hard to draw that boundary. But does it exist? Absolutely it does. And this is where I think the government, to their credit, specifically this particular government, have taken it very, very seriously, right? What I would like to call out to everyone in the interest of public, in the public interest is, if you've not heard of the I4C, which is nothing but the Indian Central Cybercrime Coordination Cell. If any of you have ever had the experience of filing a police complaint, it's horrendous depending on the district and the state that you're in, right? the one good thing with respect to cybercrime, there's no good thing about any crime, but at least with cybercrime, is that you get to sort of file the complaint online and it is directly sent to the exact police station that is supposed to handle it, right? So do not take I leave to each one of you to decide what is sledging, right? But there is no reason for you to accept toxic behavior online, right? Because it takes every one of us to change the discourse. The reason people get away with toxicity is because they feel that they can get away with it, right? They're anonymous, they don't know who they are, right? But if you have specific coordinates, and I encourage all of you to go online and see, the website is, of course, the highest priority for the government is to curtail CSAM, which is pornographic material. The second highest is financial fraud, because there is an actual loss. But there is also, provisions for the protection of women, specifically and children as well, right? So I encourage you to go and look at it, and that's where I think the 30% is going, because all of that requires money and effort to go through. Can they do better?
Yeah.
Absolutely, they can do better. Okay. But I actually kind of agree with Anurag sir at least in that to the limit that having a free and open system where there is open competition, where there are multiple bodies, will eventually help the sector grow, right? Because it's somewhat similar to the Olympic story. And because all of you were discussing the Olympics, I'm not an expert in that. All of these people are. India started actually winning medals when you saw the private sector invest into training people and getting that. Lucky for esports that the private sector has taken the lead. I would like to see the lead exist for a few more years before the government wakes up and does something.
Government only need to set the guidelines, not run it. Trust me, running for government is going to be very hard and detrimental for esports. That's why I gave you an example of IT sector. Government was only setting the guidelines, but it was the private companies who was running the business. Similarly, in esports also, yes, but the guidelines are missing. That's my whole issue with our government today, that they need to say, oh, this body will set these guidelines, or these are the guidelines. I think that is what is missing from my perspective.
So one more, do you want to say something?
So I have a different point there. Government policies are important, and I'm sure it will come eventually as the sector becomes mature. And that's what we are here to, advise government that these are the policies that Korea as a country has implemented, Saudi as a state has implemented, and definitely we can learn from the other countries and bring policies to what works for India. If esports really has to take off, it is not just the private player's responsibility. It's government's responsibility equally. And individually, we both can't do much, but with PPP model, public-private partnership model, if we can come together, both at a center level and a state level, the opportunity, the number of gamers that we have in the country, right? 550, 600 million, depending on how you define the gamers, or core gamers, about 150, 200 million gamers, the size is huge.
Right.
And if we have to identify the best talent today in the platforms that we have, and Anurag, that we run the tournaments, we connect with, 500,000 people, 1 million people, but the market is 200 million.
Right.
And I can go from 500,000 to 700,000 or 1 million. If I have to go beyond that and go to 200 million hardcore gamers that play 3-4 hours every single day, grind every single day, if I have to discover the best talent who's going to represent India in Olympics or globally, it has to be government and private partnerships.
Yeah. So do you know, they all know, do you know an average salary of a BGMI player, by the way? No? Any guesses? He's just a 16-year-old boy, let's say, or a girl. An average salary monthly. Wrong. You're there, but...
He said average. He's correct, actually. Average.
Average, you can...
Average, but
for the T1 player, I'm saying...
how many players you're taking.
Yeah. So if the player is just recognized by one organization, let's say, minimum he will get 50 to 70K. Minimum, that's the rate. The highest paid esports athlete in India, let's say there are 50, for example. All the T1 lobbies, their salary exceeds more than 12 LPA. Okay, people are earning, and it's just hardcore esports. There is no the RMG or the brand collaborations or anything. It's direct the salary I'm talking about. So yeah, what do you think about these salary patterns and everything, the orgs especially who are involved? Because you guys are coming from the core, and I really want to know, like, they should know because they are here. We already know about it. The whole structure of tournaments, how it is done, Vamsi, so that they can also have a better understanding. Because I think many of them don't even know what exactly we guys are doing, and that's why we face some problems, and we are facing it. What do you think?
No, is it in terms of career perspective?
No, I'm just saying in the, let's say, how to build a career in it. Yeah.
Career perspective. See, there are, like I did my engineering, but in my 23 years of work experience before I started this, I never did anything close to what I did in engineering. I moved completely to marketing and I built strategies, campaigns, stuff like that. So what I am capable enough from the education perspective to what I actually did for 23 years has nothing to do with it. Same thing goes for esports and gaming as well. You might be a great player, but you may not be qualifying for an Olympic player. Right? So what happens, people lose heart and they think that I don't want to pursue this career. I've been a gamer since Anurag 99, maybe before that. I'm older than Anurag, by the way.
I started my career in gaming in 99. I've been a gamer since 1986.
So I made sure that even though I'm not a professional player, I wanted to be in the passion place where it gives me satisfaction and at the same time you make money as well. So same thing goes with the players themselves, right? If you are not capable enough of to represent your country or represent your state or whatever, depending on what you're talking about, there are other aspects of careers in esports. You can become coaches, for example. You can become broadcasting expert. You can become, if you have a parallel capability of creative geniuses in you, you can get into creative elements of gaming. There are a lot of, in my organization I have about 66 people in my organization. Everybody are gamers. I mean, obviously, if you have to work in an esports company, you have to have the first requirement. My interview question, first thing I ask, how many hours a day you play? What games do you play? I judge based on that to start with, and then their attitude and their skill sets, and that's how it is. So there are a lot of opportunities that will come. So just being the top of the food chain is not the opportunity. Opportunity doesn't end there.
Right. And Vishwalok, sir, because you're coming from a marketing background, you have built India Today Gaming, you have done so many esports tournaments with a prize pool of 1 crore. So how do you see the whole ecosystem when it comes to the ROI and revenue, especially?
Yeah, in esports, the primary revenue comes from, sponsorship. So earlier, the sponsorship monies were very small because, the brands also need to understand it and all of that. But now I believe when we started, it started very small, and then subsequent tournaments, the revenue became pretty large as compared to the ones which we started with. So obviously now people are understanding this, industry pretty well. They know the kind of users that they are targeting, because if you talk about gamers are not particularly consuming any other media. They are not generally watching news. They are not generally, reading newspapers or magazines or, other stuff. They are either gaming or maybe, watching a couple of shows here and there on Netflix or, those kinds of OTTs. So if the brands need to target this audience, they really need to get onto the esports bandwagon, whereby they need to be sponsoring these tournaments. They need to be getting onto with the games and doing placements inside the games and all of that. So definitely the numbers are increasing. The brands are now not only just sponsoring the tournament, they are sponsoring the players. They are sponsoring the teams. That has started happening in a very, very big manner. right? And and of the careers also, Vamsi talked about a lot of career opportunities. The career opportunities are also immense. Like, in our team itself, Masab, there were so many people, right? There was someone who was doing the video editing. There was someone who's doing the graphic designing. There is a shoutcaster. There are game admins. There are server guys. There are so many. I mean, there are journalists who are specialized in gaming. So there are so many career opportunities which are there, and obviously the revenues are increasing. I just talked about the Esports World Cup prize pool. So if a company is giving a prize pool of 580 crore, think about the kind of revenue that they would be making to actually support that kind of a prize pool.
And Anurag said, you want to add something?
I just have a point when you were talking about salaries of esports player. What was the salary of Dhoni here?
मैं तो सर स्पोर्ट्स का हूँ ही नहीं।
बॉस आपको पता है धोनी काम क्या करता था मेरे को भी नहीं पता बट वी नो धोनी बिकॉज ऑफ हिज अकम्पलिशमेंट सो आई थिंक सैलरी इज नॉट द क्राइटेरिया बट येस दे शुड बी एबल टू मेक सेल्फ सस्टेनिंग enough money to make their ends meet but I don't think salary is a
But it's
motivation.
inflated, that's what like.
It's inflated exactly. I agree with you, yeah. But those inflated salaries were courtesy those orgs who were ready to pay, and courtesy that people's expectation became them. And what I've seen today, they have come back down to the ground. So yeah, closed or people have realized that this is not what we deserve. Oh, oh, sorry. They think this is not what we'll get. Yes, we deserve more than this. But that's our general thing has been. So that's all. I think we remember Dhoni or Sachin or anybody else because of what they've achieved, not what their salaries were.
Right. And because already we have discussed a lot. Any questions from the audience? Like you want to ask something? Yes. कैसे माइक दिया जाएगा? मैं आके दे दूं?
एक दे वहाँ पर। Oh shit, मेरा वो हो गया पैर। सो गया?
अभी मैं गिर जाता। Okay, हाँ। मैं गिरता तो कितना हंसी आती। मैं आता पहले। आप आते मुझे सभी आ जाते सर आज। मैं तो खुद हंसते हुए गिरता।
There's a button there.
Can I just say it like this?
Yeah, you can, but there's a button. Easy. See, यहाँ पे there's a button.
Yeah.
Low. If you're too loud, you can.
So thank you for your insights, the panelists. Mike, I have two questions. One thing that Indian gaming community is predominantly been with betting games or gambling, which is I am very disappointed with that because I think there's a lot of potential with skill-based esports. So comment and advise on how we can change that. Second, regarding Unreal Engine 5 using AI-generated games. So can we make a game in India that can exceed Black Wukong, for example?
So I'm not gonna answer. I think yes. Even I can answer, but
Sure. So, see, I mean, let me. So, one of the reasons why one betting is illegal in India, right? So, whatever the apps that are into this, they are operating purely illegally. It takes, as I said in my earlier answer, some time for the government to respond, for the society to respond. You are in that, what do I say, the twilight period where the law is just about to catch up, right? So, that's my comment on that one. The second, if you're specifically, the question is to, some people mistake RMG or skill games as also betting and gambling, precisely because at the end of it, you have a mutual fund kind of disclaimer, which is actually given in the interest of the public, right? Now, there, I just would urge everyone to consider that the entry level to play a PS5 game is anywhere between 50,000, which is the standard PS5 price, to the license fee for the game, which is anywhere between 2,000 to 5,000 rupees. How many of us can afford a 50,000 rupee console to play a decent game, right? The reason why mobile games are popular in India is, all said and done, we are still a poor country, and poor people also have a need for entertainment. And their way to engage with that is a game of, say, Ludo or a game of Rummy. So that is where I would urge all of you to sort of be considerate, which is that while you and I might be able to afford a console and get our entertainment there, not everyone has access to those kind of sort of facilities. Right? That's my number one point. The number two on Unreal, I've already commented. I'll also let the other experts sort of give this one. Game building is a huge enterprise. It requires a lot of money, which is where I would encourage, and Dream 11 is typically given as an example. Dream 11, all the money that they are making in the RMG sector, they're investing heavily into building Dream Studios, which probably I would like to believe is going to be India's best cricket game, right? So look forward to that, and let's see how we are able to sort of compete.
So answering the second question only, I'll just like summarize it in a very short. So there are lots of conferences happening in India right now. IGDC and there are many big stakeholders who are like trying to develop indie games. There are more than 800 indie devs in India only. No doubt we are not at that level where we can make a game like GTA, for example. So the most awaited GTA 6, the whole value for that game right now till now is the production cost only. I'm saying it's $2 billion crossed already. So we don't have the tech right now. We don't have the IT right now in India. Maybe after 10 years or 20 years, we will be able to, but I don't think for coming 5-10 years, we can make a game like San Andreas. Now comes Vamsi and Anurag. So what do you think about it? Because I have a question.
So we just actually trying to wrap up fast because we are running against time.
In just 2
and
minutes,
the best
sir.
interesting, I'm sure you have lots to talk and lot of ground to cover. Because we would like to thank you from our bottom of our hearts because we are on a road to continuous improvement and we're trying to discover ourselves in different respective areas because it's yesterday I'd like to share with you what happened in the morning session when we had one of the speakers in the inaugural session. And he said very beautifully and very aptly, he said, I don't know what AI is all about. Because, we are artificially intelligent and intelligently artificial. Because, we are still to discover, because we are trying to compete with ourselves all the time, and I think it's very important for all of us to relax, take a deep breath, get out of your kitchen, meditate, talk to people. That's why we had such a wonderful session with you collaterally. And Meenakshi has just, by the way, thank you for sharing knowledge. And she shared the pictures. Because, this is a road to excellence which has got no ending. So, we can take up these decisions and discussions because, you can't allow your mind to be working all the time. Relax, reboot yourself. Even computer needs to be shut down. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you, everyone.
We have a small
hope you
button.
enjoyed.
We have a small button called shut down. Thank you so much. But in all humility, Rajji, may I request you to kindly felicitate all our speakers, Musab Zama, Head of Sports and Gaming, Aaj Tak, and Vamsi Krishna, founder of the Esports Club. I had the proud privilege of meeting them. Anurag Khurana, founder and CEO at Newgen Gaming Private Limited. Mr. Saravjit Singh, Head of Government Policy and Affairs, MPL. Mr. Vamsi Krishna, founder of the Esports Club. I had the pleasure of meeting Vamsi at the Esports World Cup launch at Talkator Indoor Stadium. Mr. Anurag Khurana, founder and CEO at the Newgen Gaming Private Limited. Mr. Saravjit Singh, Head of Government Policy and Affairs, MPL. He's not here. Vijay Srivastav, Director General, Sogi.org. Thank you. Mr. Vishwalok Nath, founder and CEO, Hepal. जिनके नाम ही में विश्वलोक और नाथ भी हो तो फिर बात ही क्या है। प्रसन्न जी सर अपना चश्मा दीजिए आप। Yes sir, please can we have a group photograph?